What's going on, guys? Well, look at what we are hanging out with today. This is my GSXR 750. Just got a new set of Bridgestone S22s fitted to this motorcycle. We are going to go ahead and get them broken in just a little bit. So I am bringing you along for the ride. Love how this bike sounds. Gearbox on this GSXR 750 is so slick that it almost begs the question if you even need a quick shifter. I keep saying that about this bike. I know that there's a lot of folks that say that this particular machine is outdated, but are you sure about that? Because it certainly doesn't feel outdated. Loving the way that the gearbox feels on this bike. The other thing, and I guess this is like a secondary thing, with the quick shifter, most if not all quick shifters do not want you to preload the shifter itself. That is, for a lot of us that grew up with sport bikes especially, that is just so weird. And I think that for guys that are used to riding more analog bikes, that's one of the weirdest things to get used to with a quick shifter, is that they really do not want you to preload that shifter. And a lot of times for a lot of guys, that makes the shifting really jerky. Kind of hard to explain, but for those of us that have been doing this since forever, I mean, we're just kind of going through the gears here, and it just is so slick on this bike. It is so nice. Okay, enough fawning on about the gearbox on this bike. Let's get this thing on the side of the tire. Get a little bit of scrubbage on these Bridgestone S22s. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and address our corner. Go ahead and get on the brakes, drop her in, maintenance throttle, power, power, power on corner exit. Hard on the brakes, dropping her in as we are trail braking, looking at our favorite little stop signs. Hi guys. I love GSXR 750 so much. It's just, God, these bikes are so good. Okay, so quick rundown on this bike. It's stock. It's a California bike. No, nothing other than the mirror block offs and a tail tidy. Nothing else done to this machine. And God, do you even need to? Yeah, this kind of begs a weird question for me, because this bike, I'm telling you, the way that it runs, it uses all of its tachometer. It's not like one of these newer bikes where it's, you know, a little bit neutered. This bike doesn't feel like that. This bike feels almost like it has a tune already. So to give an example, this bike will, at least on a dyno, make peak power around 12,500 RPM. With ram air screaming down the straights, maybe a little bit higher, but I think you get the idea. 12,500 RPM with about a 14,250 hard red line. I tell you what, this bike has got over rev in it for days. I can spool this thing past 13,000 RPM and it never really feels like it's laying over. You get the sense that maybe it's plateauing, but never that you are dropping off a cliff like some of these more modern bikes. And it just makes it so much better to ride. So for the modern bikes to get that kind of response, you have to have a tune. I'll give you an example. My 636 with the tune and velocity stacks, full exhaust, it pulls clean to 14,500 RPM up there, right? But when it was stock, I mean, realistically, 13,000 RPM, it was kind of getting a little bit wheezy up there, you know? So it's just, I don't know, you know, EPA, whatever kind of letters you want to throw at it, reasons to neuter a bike when you're wide open. I don't know why you would do that, but a lot of the bikes do. This one does not feel like it at all. So good on Suzuki for that. But outside of that, my goodness, the suspension on this bike. So we are sitting at stock configuration. All I did was make sure that everything was even, but in terms of front fork preload, rear shock preload, all of the hydraulics, they're all as delivered from Suzuki as stock. So I gotta say, it really is a just set it and forget it type of a thing. To give you guys an idea, I am right at 200 pounds. And this bike is just so comfortable for me to ride. And not only is it comfortable, but it's confidence inspiring. I feel like I drop this thing in it any kind of mile per hour. And it has got some chops on corner exit too. What a fun bike. Yeah, I don't know that you can do motorcycle better than the GSXR 750. Look, I get technology. Technology is only great when it's working though. And some of the glitchiness that I've found with some of the more recent bikes that I've been riding, spending time on and having to spend quite a bit of money on to try to get those systems to work properly. If you don't got it, it don't fail, right? So, and the throttle response on blip downshifts is so good. Oh, it is so responsive. I'm telling you, it is just old school at its finest. It's everything right with how bikes used to be back in the day. You know, the only if you want to call it a shortcoming, I guess you could say that other bikes turn in a little bit quicker than this one. I'm not going to call that a problem though. That's just a characteristic of the bike, and I'm talking specifically about the 636. Here's the problem though. You ride the 636 and then you ride any other motorcycle, and that any other motorcycle is going to feel like it's got a slower turn in. So yes, absolutely love this bike. So stoked to have it back in the stable. Everything about this bike is exactly as I would hope that it would be, and I can't wait to bring you guys some more content. But join me in welcoming this bike, its first trip around the little circuit here, and it already is feeling like we're back home. But with that, guys, if you made it this far into the video, consider smashing that subscribe button. Hit the bell, helps the channel out more than you know. But with that, guys, I got to go ahead and wrap it up. Y'all take it easy.